What if trying to live up to mom and dad's expectations is literally cutting them off from doing their own work, and it's also keeping you stuck? Maybe even stuck in childhood patterns. Because there's this energetic connection that you have to your parents and their expectation of you. If you continue to buy into it, of trying to live up to their expectations and how they want you to be, will keep you in a box. It will literally keep you thinking, feeling, and acting equal to whatever that is. And until you break out of the box, you will continue to live in those old childhood patterns, and you'll also continue to enable them to not grow. Like, imagine we come to earth, we forget who we are to remember who we are. We're here to learn unconditional love. And if your parents have conditions and you are living up to those conditions and trying everything you can to live up to them, even if it means abandoning yourself, what if you are enabling them to stay in their old patterns, and you're literally holding them back from growing? And you're holding yourself back from growing. I'm in Vegas right now, and I was at my dad's house yesterday talking to my sisters, and one thing they told me that was very interesting was that their grandparents on their mom's side is that they do not want any of them to have tattoos. So no one is allowed to have tattoos in the family, and my sister, one of my sister's boyfriend, is about to get a tattoo, and they were literally talking to her like, are you gonna stay with your boyfriend? She's been with for 5 years. It's like her high school sweetheart. Are you gonna stay with your boyfriend because he has tattoos? And they're dead serious, like their grandparents. And it was so interesting to me that that's where the mind goes, this conditional love. And if any of them got tattoos, my sisters, then they would literally be disowned from the family and taken out of the will. I'm not kidding about this. Like, this is the condition of the love that is there. So they are constantly trying to fit within this, like, they're trying not to step out of bounds. They don't want grandma or grandpa to disapprove, who have this judgmental, like, box of how they need to be in order to receive love and acceptance. So it's interesting to me because as I'm looking at that, I'm thinking about all the people that I've seen hold themselves back from being how and who they really want to be because what would mom and dad think? Now, think about this as well. There's a book that I read recently. It's called Iron John, and it's a kind of like the tale of like the masculine journey. And part of it's a metaphoric representation of what's necessary in order to become a man. And there's also books that show women how to become more like embodied in the feminine. There's different like archetypal parts of our reality of masculine and feminine dynamics. And in part of this story, there's this boy that in order to become a man, there's this wild man that's locked in the basement of a castle. This is all metaphor, right? There's this wild man that was in the forest and it was dangerous, and the king and everyone put this wild man in the basement. And the boy lost its little gold marble, and the wild man has it. And the wild man says, I'll give you the marble if you let me out of the cage. But to get the key out of the cage, the key is under the boy's mom's pillow. And the boy must steal the key in order to let the wild man out. And if the boy does not, here's the thing, the boy cannot take the key because the mom's not going to give the key to the boy. The pillow represents mom's expectations and wishes and desires for her son. Now the boy must actually steal the key, let out the wild man, and that has to do with the subconscious of the wild, kind of the darker side. That's a lot of times in society today we're not allowed to tap into. And what happens though is many people do not steal the key. Part of stealing the key is being who you choose to be. This is the process of individuation. And until you individuate from your parents, you're not really doing your own work in a way where you have this like freedom and this authenticity to really express yourself and to go after what you want. Now, pleasing your parents because of the conditional love that you're trying to get is what I'm saying is holding you back and keeping the childhood dynamics alive. And I understand that parents sometimes don't want to let go of that little image of their girl or boy that they had that's now grown up. But the thing is it's a natural part of the growing up, the life process, grieving different stages, but also the detachment and the trust for someone else to figure things out. So one of the messages for today, if you're watching this video, is have you stolen the key? Have you decided to be who you chose to be? I know growing up, there was this expectation for a while that I could feel my dad had for me. Or it was like, you're so smart. Get the college degree, and I went to college for years, but like get the college degree, become a lawyer or something like that. And there was this desire there. But I knew what I wanted to do. And I always knew I wanted to own my own business. I had an uncle that was a business owner, and he had no college, no graduate degree or anything like that, yet he was the most successful one in the family. So I had that as a kind of like to see that as a model was like very powerful. But then getting on YouTube, I had to commit to my own journey. And there will be people that doubt you along the journey. And that's okay. You get to learn how to believe in yourself. I remember when I first got on YouTube, I was hearing of my ex-stepmom telling my sisters, because my sisters told me this, that she was like mimicking my videos. In my videos I say, my name's Aaron, I help people expand their consciousness. And I'll say that in a whole bunch of my videos. And I remember back in the day, I didn't have the results. I had like 13 subscribers. And my sisters were like, are you making videos for your 13 subscribers? And I'd be like, yes. It was like I didn't have to sell them on it. But then they were like, when I was hearing about how she was like, my name's Aaron, help people expand their consciousness. That's what my ex-stepmom was doing. And I was like, I in a way use that as fuel. Because funny enough, now that everything has grown, I think there's not that I even care, not that I even know for sure, but from what I hear now from my sisters, she thinks what I'm doing is very interesting and cool. It's funny how people doubt you. Some people, it's weird how that works. Some people will doubt you and kind of talk smack about you as you don't have the results, but you're like becoming this new version of you. But then once they have it, they'll get it and they'll maybe want to be around you. And then sometimes it works the other way, where people root for you when you're not successful, but then once you become successful, it's like, oh, look, this person sold out. So it's kind of like a perspective either way, but you have to be unattached from it all. But one of the main parts of this video is, have you individuated? Have you chosen your own path? Have you stopped enabling your parents from growing up? What if pleasing other people is enabling other people? I've had to deal with that too since a while ago, a couple months ago. I'm actually in the same hotel room. My mom passed away in the very beginning of December. And when that happened, I came to Vegas and I actually stayed in this exact hotel room on a different floor. I really liked this hotel room, even though it was like such a weird association to that time, because it was a very hard time when I came here to like manage everything with the family. But an example of that is like, there's been this necessity as the eldest son to like really help out everyone in my family that's dealing with like because my mom, when she passed, it happened very suddenly. And my brother and sister, they're older, they're like 28, 27. However, when everything happened, I was like, I need, helping them out. But I can realize now that like there's a certain level to which you help someone that you actually enable them to not learn their own lessons. And that's kind of what my mom did as well, where she was always there to fix things, always there. She played both the mom and the dad to my half-brother and sister because their dad's not around. So it was like, but then there was this desire where I felt like I needed to help and I felt obligated. But I'm realizing I'm enabling that energy without letting them actually figure it out on themselves. Have you ever had relationships where you want to help someone and fix them and help them through their process, but by doing so you enable them and you also infuse a thing that like they can't do it themselves? I remember this one time I was hiking with some friends, and one of my friend's wife was also one of my great friends. We were hiking and she was afraid of heights, and she was going through this whole process when we were like jumping over this little rock, climbing up to this cave thing. And she was like really scared. And in that panic scared moment, I think from childhood, I see someone scared, I want to help them. I want to ease the tension. But what happened is when she was trying to go, I was like, give me your hand. Like I was going to help her across. And she said, no. Like she was in a flustered state. She said, no. She's like, I have to do it myself. Otherwise, I won't know that I can do it. And then she ended up like doing it herself, and she felt empowered. And in that moment, I realized that by doing that, I was robbing her of her ability to do it and to grow. Even though she was in a fearful, tense state, there was growth that came from that. Now, I admire that she had the awareness for that, because most people would just, be in a tense state and then not choose the growth opportunity. But what I encourage you to do is to pull your energy back and to stop trying to fix everyone, stop trying to please everyone, stop trying to get everyone's approval or validation, because it doesn't mean anything. If you are trying to get the approval of other people, you probably aren't approving of yourself. You're infusing this belief that there's something wrong with you. And a huge amount of growth comes when you allow yourself to realize that. It's liberating. It's exciting to understand that you just find out what you want to do, go after that, and let your parents come around. Or they may not, but you don't need to keep trying to hold them back from learning their lessons of learning unconditional love, which is what I believe we came here to learn. Now, something I am doing is a 2-day live event, March 2nd and 3rd, where we're going to look deeper into this. Now, understand the mom and the dad energy. Mom represents the energy of relationships, of nurturing, of receiving, of creativeness, of like creation. And the father energy, your connection to your father is correlated to your purpose, money, abundance, safety, protection. And unless we look at these two dynamics of how these reflect in our lives, sometimes people with big masculine wounds have trouble finding their purpose, or they overcompensate and create a very successful business because they don't feel safe. And many times people with, our first relationship coming to this world is our mom. So what happens is when you learn how to heal these relationships, how to forgive, how to let go, you end up opening so much more in your life. That's one of the main focuses of this upcoming live event. There's virtual tickets and in-person tickets. It's in Austin, Texas, March 2nd and 3rd. It's a 2-day transformative event. We'll be doing guided meditation experiences, workshops. We'll be doing that of group energy manifestation, like meditations for connecting to unity intentions. It's very powerful. If you want to join virtual or in person, click the link below. Now's the last chance for early bird tickets. You also get a bonus of the QHHT Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique Past Life Regression workshop that was done in LA at the Shift Experience, done by my buddy Victor Odo. It's a whole HD recording of the whole process you can go into. You get that as a free bonus when you join as well. You can click the link below, join, and grab your ticket. There'll be replays if you can't make it live as well. It's going to be epic. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. Other than that, if you want to learn more about forgiveness and how powerful this process is, here's one of my most popular new videos. It's going to be right here. Why is it that enlightened masters such as Eckhart Tolle have said you don't actually have to forgive? And why is it when you apply this one concept I'm about to share with you in this video, it will completely change the way people relate to you. It will change the people that you attract into your